The idea of a young Jesus journeying to the East, particularly India, before embarking on his ministry has captivated many. This theory suggests Jesus spent his lost years, absent from the Bible, immersed in Eastern philosophies. These ideas, the theory purports, later influenced his teachings. While intriguing, this notion lacks credible historical evidence and is widely disputed by mainstream scholars. The theory primarily rests on conjecture and a handful of questionable accounts. It heavily relies on interpreting similarities between Jesus' teachings and Buddhist principles as proof of direct influence. However, this interpretation overlooks the possibility of shared wisdom traditions that existed across cultures long before Jesus' time. The lack of reliable historical evidence makes the theory difficult to accept. The canonical Gospels, the primary source for Jesus' life, make no mention of such a journey. This silence is significant considering the Gospels' detailed accounts of Jesus' younger years, such as his visit to the temple at 12. While the idea of Jesus traveling to India might seem appealing, it's crucial to separate speculation from historical reality. A closer look reveals that the theory lacks a strong foundation and relies on assumptions rather than concrete evidence. The theory of Jesus in India gained momentum in the late 19th century, largely due to the controversial account of Nicolas Notovitch. In his 1894 book, The Unknown Life of Jesus Christ, Notovitch, a Russian traveler, claimed to have discovered ancient Tibetan manuscripts detailing Jesus' travels and studies in India. According to Notovitch, these manuscripts, preserved in the Hemis Monastery in Ladakh, India, describe Jesus arriving in India as a young man, immersing himself in Buddhist teachings, and spending several years learning from various masters. This story quickly captured the public imagination, fueling the theory of Jesus' Eastern connection. However, Notovitch's claims quickly unraveled under scrutiny. Scholars and historians, skeptical of his narrative, investigated his claims. Their investigations revealed that the Hemis Monastery held no such manuscripts, and Notovitch had never even visited the region he described. Notovitch's account was thoroughly debunked as a fabrication, discrediting his book and casting serious doubt on the theory it popularized. Despite this, the story continues to circulate, often cited by proponents of the Jesus in India theory. However, it serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of critical examination and the dangers of accepting sensational claims without solid evidence. One of the most compelling arguments against Jesus traveling to India lies in the deafening silence of historical records. The canonical Gospels, the primary source of information about Jesus' life, make no mention of such a journey. Considering their detailed accounts of his birth, childhood, and ministry, it's highly improbable that a trip to India, especially one lasting several years, would be completely absent. Furthermore, early Christian writers who documented and reflected on Jesus' life and teachings make no reference to any Eastern travels. These writers, many of whom lived within a century of Jesus, had access to oral traditions and historical data that have since been lost. Their silence on such a significant aspect of Jesus' life strongly suggests that it never occurred. Proponents of the India theory often point to the lost years of Jesus' life, the period between his childhood and the beginning of his ministry, as evidence for his travels. However, this argument relies on the assumption that these years were unaccounted for. The Gospels choose to focus on specific events and teachings, and their silence on a particular period does not necessarily imply a gap in Jesus' timeline. The absence of any credible historical or archaeological evidence supporting Jesus' journey to India, coupled with the silence of primary sources, casts serious doubt on the theory's validity. While intriguing, the idea remains speculative and lacks the necessary historical grounding to be taken as a factual account of Jesus' life. One of the main arguments used to support the theory of Jesus traveling to India is the perceived similarity between some of his teachings and Buddhist philosophy. While it's true that certain themes, such as compassion, nonviolence, and detachment from material possessions, resonate in both traditions, attributing this overlap solely to Jesus' supposed Eastern travels is a simplistic and flawed interpretation. The concept of shared wisdom traditions offers a more plausible explanation. Throughout history, cultures have independently developed similar philosophical and ethical ideas. The pursuit of wisdom, compassion, and a deeper understanding of the human condition are universal themes that transcend geographical boundaries and cultural differences. For instance, the Golden Rule, often cited as evidence of Buddhist influence on Jesus' teachings, appears in various forms across different cultures and predates both Jesus and Buddha. In Jewish tradition, which heavily influenced Jesus' upbringing and teachings, the principle of treating others as you would like to be treated is found in the Torah. Similarly, the concept of detachment from material possessions, prominent in both Christianity and Buddhism, finds its roots in ancient Greek philosophy, particularly Stoicism. Attributing this shared theme solely to cultural exchange between India and Judea ignores the broader historical and philosophical context in which these ideas emerged. While the similarities between Jesus' teachings and Eastern philosophies are intriguing, they are not unique to these traditions. Shared wisdom traditions rooted in universal human experiences and aspirations offer a more plausible explanation for these commonalities than the speculative theory of Jesus traveling to India.